Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of The Sawdust Factory. This episode is about television sound. I had this television for more than 13 years and it's been working nicely ever since, but the sound quality of the television, of course, is on the worst side. So to improve the sound in my bedroom, I was using this old home cinema system. It's a DVD 5.1, but one day this thing broke down, just stopped working. Of course, this was not the speakers, it was maybe some electronics inside, so I didn't bother myself to taking it somewhere to repair. I was thinking about going for one of those new fancy sound bars, but those go for 150 euros and above. So instead I've decided to build something myself. So first I bought this amplifier board from AliExpress and 12 volts and 5 amps power supply from my Home Depot. It's a simple LED power supply, so it gives me 60 watts of power. This amplifier is hooked to the stereo speakers and the subwoofer, which will stand on the floor. It's pretty basic 3-channel amplifier. I hooked it all up, tested it first without any box or enclosure. The sound was okay, so I had to do the box for it. I started with a SketchUp drawings by creating the smallest box possible, and I was using 12mm plywood. I had a sheet of plywood lying around, so I first cut the sides of the box, and according to the measurements from the plans. So you first cut the narrow strips for the sides in order to make the pieces of wood equal. I used the stop block, so cut the first piece and then cut the second, and they come out exactly the same length. Then, I just measured, they come out exactly the same length. Then, using a router table and a straight bit, I'm just cutting out wood so the pieces of the box fit closely together. And only 3 sides of this sideboard are being cut on. And then using the table saw, I'm just cutting a groove for the back panel. Of course, it's all needed to be sanded down to ease all the edges. And now dry fit for the test. I used a thin plywood for the front and back panels of the box. Okay, it all fits perfectly. But then I decided not to use plywood for front and back. It's important to mention that I only glued the top and the side pieces of the box. I left the bottom piece of the box unglued, and I fixed it later using the screws. And the reason for that is I want this box to be... I want to be able to open the box if I need to replace some parts later. So I only glue the top and the side pieces of the box. Just apply the wood glue, take some clamps, and I only put the bottom part without any glue, just to hold everything in place and keep everything square. Okay, then using the damp cloth, remove all the excess glue and leave it to dry for a few hours. Then I used the leftovers of my Tikurila coconut white wood oil. It's really beautiful finish. You just apply it with a paintbrush, let it dry for a couple of hours, and then apply the second coat. Really beautiful satin finish. Then I used my 3D printer to print out the front and the back panels of the amplifier and the legs. And then I used screwed in all the terminals. And then I spent about an hour to solder all the connections. So the front panel will have the power switch and the potentiometers of the amplifier, and all the connectors go to the back panel of the amplifier. So I also solder all the wires to the back panel, and the back panel slides in the slot of the box, easy like so. And then I just use hot glue on the front side of the panel and just use the hot glue to attach the front panel. And now all the wires come together, get connected, the left and right channel and the subwoofer. Okay, when it's all connected, put the bottom on top, and then connect the line input, connect the left and right channel and the subwoofer using banana plugs, and then the power supply, the power cable goes the last. And then we turn it on and it works perfectly as it was standing here all the time. Thanks for watching!